Hi, I'm Max Spainhour.
And I'm Troy McCormick. Welcome to Indiana Outdoor Adventures. Indiana Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by High-Tech Firearms and Training, Haubrey Forestry Consulting, managing your timber and wildlife resources, Derby City Game Calls, it's your call, Lawrence County Tourism Commission, discover an unexpected destination, Hillbilly Custom Game Calls, and Fire Knock, the most advanced lighted knock. Hi. My name's Troy McCormick, and we have a very exciting adventure to take you on today. Now, this is something that is unlike anything we've done before here on the show, and we're in quest of the silver carp. The silver carp story, as you're going to find out in the video clips coming up, has a very comical side to it, but it also has a very serious side to it that we want to be sure and talk about. The silver carp is a type of Asian carp. And we have 4 different species of Asian carp that can be found today in North America. We've got the common carp, the grass carp, the bighead carp, and the silver carp. Now, what makes the silver carp so unique amongst the 4 is it's kind of been nicknamed the flying carp. The uniqueness or the very unusual element about the silver carp is they leap out of the water. What we have found is that vibrations from boat motors tend to startle the fish. And when the fish are startled, they actually leap out of the water. 6, 8, sometimes 10 feet up out of the water. And these aren't little fish, mind you. These are fish that can get up 10, 20, 30 pounds, all the way up to 50 and 100 pounds in size. So you can imagine the safety concerns of a boater who is maybe he's speeding down the river 20, 30 miles an hour heading toward his favorite fishing place. Maybe he's out water skiing or water tubing with the family. And then all of a sudden you have dozens of these fish leaping up out of the water. And therein lies one of the problems, and that is with boater safety. What we found out in filming this adventure, the fish literally jump out of the water and into the boat. Now, in the segments we're going to see, I'm the cameraman. I'm getting hit in the head with these fish. Mac has got fish going back and forth past him. And like I said, it can be very comical, but we have to keep in mind the safety concerns of boaters out on the rivers. Back in the 1970s, the Asian carp species, silver carp, were brought into the United States in Arkansas from Asia to serve as a method of aquaculture in eating and cleaning up the blue-green algae problems on catfish ponds. Well, unfortunately, during the floods of major rivers, the water got into the ponds, the fish got out of the ponds, and now we find these fish throughout the inland waterway system. We've got them in the Mississippi, the Missouri, the Illinois, the Ohio, and now we have the Asian carp working their way up the Wabash and other rivers toward the Great Lakes. Now, the biggest problem from an environmental point of view is the fact that these silver carp are bottom feeders. They feed on plankton. They're very good at it, and they can eat a lot of plankton. Now, they're competing directly with our sport fish. And the bigger these fish get, the more numerous they get, the more chances are of literally eating themselves out of all the food and depriving our sport fish and our native fish of the food that they need to survive. Because these carp are bottom feeders, sport fishermen have no way to catch them, basically. They won't hit on a hook and line type of system. And there really isn't a commercial application for utilizing the fish. Now, there are some companies that are trying to find a commercial use, whether as a food product, a fertilizer product, but nothing's really in place yet. And the fish continue to move north. Now, scientists have found the carp all the way up past Lafayette, up on the Wabash River, and there are concerns about the carp getting out of the river into the Maumee River system and then up into the Great Lakes themselves. Both Illinois and Indiana are constructing fences across rivers, both chain link fences across floodways where rivers can flood because they don't want the fish getting out during a flood event, but also they're using invisible electric fences to keep the fish out. There's a major concern that if these fish get into the Great Lakes, which has a $7 billion a year fisheries, and if these fish can get in there and eat out the food source, that'll devastate both sport and commercial fishermen on the Great Lakes. So there's a lot of concern right now and a lot of talk about Asian carp. And today we're going to go out in search of the silver carp. So let's go take a look and see what we found while we were out on the Wabash River outside of Vincennes, Indiana.
But sometimes you just hear it. You can't keep your head on a swivel. I mean, I look up and he's getting wet. Oh, there we go. Woo! Boy, I feel like you missed it. I smacked me down. I got to punch that one down.
Good thing there on the day.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, they're back behind you.
Oh my God.
That was like 6, 7 feet
Give me a
in the
hang
air.
time. Oh! 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 Here we go.
Hit the cameraman. Nailed me right in the back.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
There's some good hang.
Watch your head, Roy. Straight.
Oh!
Oh!
You're afraid to turn around.
Oh,
there you go. There we go.
Not on Joe C, Sam.
Oh, Joe.
Go ahead and get him out. Hey, only got to get 4 more. Man, nailed me in the side.
Oh, here we go.
God, right in the head.
Ow!
Oh, my God.
Look at that.
Holy.
Whoa! Look at this. Oh! Hot dog. You're getting whacked in the
Hit me
head.
right in the head.
Oh, we got another. Whoa!
Oh,
Catch one! You couldn't catch him, this was slimy.
Almost we have my knife. Stab him.
Oh, yeah! Boom!
Oh, they're coming in close. If we hadn't batted them all back in, we would have had the record.
Oh, no. Oh, there's one! I'm on my shoulder! He went right over my
I got you, buddy.
I gotta tell you, it's hard to hold the camera still.
Ah.
We're gonna get it right here.
We need to bring the ball here. Oh! Got another. That's 8. 8 in the boat. Look at this. That way.
It was in, back in the 90s.
Oh! How many have we got now?
He bent the pole.
So what do we have, 18 now?
Man, that's not funny. That is not funny.
I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I have to admit I do too.
I think it's broke, too. I'm gonna have to fix that one.
18. We have 18 in the boat. You're gonna. 19!
19.
19. I got
Oh my
scales
God.
stuck to me.
50. Can we hear 20?
Yeah. We gotta get 20. We gotta get one more.
That was just like on cue.
Enter to win a free turkey hunt with Indiana's 2010 Turkey Calling Champion. Indiana Outdoor Adventures is offering a free drawing to anyone age 18 years and older. The winner will receive a 2-day turkey hunt in southern Indiana with Indiana Outdoor Adventures pro staff member and state turkey calling champion Jack Rollins. The winner will receive a gift pack of custom-made turkey calls, a weekend stay in a log cabin, and your hunt will be aired next season as part of Indiana Outdoor Adventures. Enter online today at www.indianaoutdooradventures.com. One entry per person. The drawing will be held March 31st, 2011.
Lawrence County is an unexpected destination found in the heart of southern Indiana rolling hills, offering recreational landscapes, a rich limestone heritage, and unique outdoor experiences. This area is limestone country, well known for limestone quarries and stone carving heritage. It's also the home of Spring Mill State Park, geocaches, the scenic East Fork of the White River, and underground caverns. Plan your adventure at limestonecountry.com or call 800-798-0769.
Hillbilly Custom Game Calls, offering the finest and precision-made diaphragm mouth calls for wild turkey hunting. Each call is handmade and gauge stretched for exact tension each and every time. Select from double and triple reed calls like you've never heard before. We also have an assortment of handmade wood box calls, glass and slate top pot calls, and predator calls that will make us your source for all of your custom game call needs. Look for us online at www.hillbillygamecalls.com. We're out on the Wabash River today, and we're doing something really exciting. We're looking for silver carp. Now, the silver carp is one of several Asian carp species that are exotics and invasive species that have made their way in up the river system here to the Wabash. Back in the early 70s, some farmers brought in these carp from China and had them in their ponds to get rid of algae. Unfortunately, when the Mississippi River flooded, they got loose and have worked their way up the Mississippi, the Missouri, the Illinois, the Ohio, and tributaries such as the Wabash. What's really interesting about the silver carp, it's also called the flying carp. And as you've seen in the videos, they literally launch themselves out of the water, sometimes 6, 8, 10 feet up into the air. Woo, that was wet. When they're disturbed and scared by a boat motor. Now, this makes it especially dangerous for sport boaters and fishermen out on the river because they can get hit in the head, they get hit and knocked out of the boat. These fish are big. They get up to 20, 30, 40 pounds. Record fish up to 100 pounds. Most of them we've seen today are probably in the 12 to 18 pounds. We've probably seen some 20, 25 pounds. I got hit in the head by one I think went 30, 35. It seemed really big. Now, the interesting thing about the makeup of the silver carp, very similar to the bighead carp, another exotic and invasive species here in the inland waters, they have a very compressed lateral shape. It's like they're all scrunched together from nose to tail, and they have a very large head. And as you look at the eye, it's placed very low and far forward on the head, which serves them well because they're bottom feeders. They like to eat plankton and zooplankton, the very bottom of the food chain, which obviously competes with all the other fish that are after the same food source. Now, if you look at the head, it's scaleless. It's a very soft, slimy, wet skin, and that the rest of the body does have small scales. The gill rakers inside of the gills are very adapted at filtering the water for the zooplankton and the plankton that they eat. And what's amazing is these fish can eat 5 to 20% of their own body weight every single day. It's no wonder they get as large as they do. Obviously, something this big hitting you can be a big hazard while you're on the river, so you do have to be careful when you're boating in areas where they have become popular. It's very exciting to see the fish jumping up out of the water and leaping across the boat, but it's also a hazard on the rivers that we do have to be very conscious of.